Alright, welcome to the 10th episode of SmashCenter. This is it. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. My name is of course suar, and we're really happy to have you around. This is of course being live casted on Twitch, and it'll be cut to YouTube later, so if you're catching this show while you're watching it at home and watching the day after, please note that there is a live show, so you can be a part of the chat, be a part of the fun. But we're going to get right to what happened this past weekend. We had a weekend full of C tiers, and if it's your first time viewing it on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're staying tuned to all the recent episodes we're going to be pumping out. We're live every week, every Monday, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We try to hit that. But without further ado, let's just get into the first tournament we're going to talk about this past weekend, which happened in the Midwest. So, this past weekend, Mars, newly signed from Panda, hit it off and had an incredible showing at Full Bloom 5. Newly signed, he took off the entire tournament and just could not be stopped. Coming off of a big win as well at Collision in Tri-State, Mars has proved that he's pretty much worth the signing and a formidable player at this point. It's just insane what the kid could do. Panda Global has a nice showing overall. Cosmos was second place, ESAM with fourth, and the Panda's pretty much tied up there. Top 8, really solid, top 4 rather. Meister from Mexico, really good showing. Game & Watch in Smash 4, Game & Watch in Ultimate, and he had a strong showing as well, taking third place with a character that was previously thought to be among the worst because no one put in results and a lot of people theory crafted. A lot of people just jumping to conclusions, but Meister pretty much shutting them down. Pretty big, large step up from his only other US tournament, which was Genesis 6, where he placed 129. Regardless, the Midwest's own Ned and Seth both nailed down 7th place. Ned being, of course, a Cloud main from Smash 4, now a newly minted Pokemon trainer. Both players for the Midwest, really represented well, and everyone's proud of them. So congrats to them. Full Bloom 5, a C tier for the PGR this season, among the many other C tiers that have occurred. Stay tuned for the other ones that occur this upcoming, weekend that we have set up, and as the summer of Smash heats up. But, continuing on, we're going to go ahead and cover now CT Gamer Con 5, a Connecticut con that featured many talents that many people were able to see, in their home region. We had Light winning the entire thing, Suarez, a Yoshi player, very popular name now, taking second after his 9th place at Collision the week prior. And it continues to prove that he will be a threat in this game. Yoshi is a threat, Suarez is a threat. We're all pretty much on the same page here. Light actually double eliminated Suarez, to his dismay. They, could be cultivating a sort of rivalry since they are on the East Coast, upper northeast side. The rest of the top 8 considered of New England Titans. Those are going to be Ling Ling, a Peach player, 3rd place. Lade, 4th place, juggling many characters, very much bringing the variety he had in Smash 4. Craftus, a Roth player, scoring 5th. And Rafi X, Pelka, DM, all in top 8. Pelka being a Snake main now, previous Diddy Kong main, and a Brawl veteran. CT Gamer Con concluded with Light winning the whole thing, signed by Rogue now almost, I want to say 3 weeks ago. Congrats to Light, he earned that W, and he will keep racking up the wins in Ultimate as long as he keeps attending tournaments, it seems. Next tournament we have up though is Frozen, a Canada event that featured many players that people were happy to see once again. We had Black Twins, a previous Cloud main, and Ally, a previous Mario main, now sporting of course the Snake. Phoenix 2019 was a very interesting tournament only because Ally, being a top 5, top 100 all-time Smash 4 player, won the event, showing that he's still got it. And of course, with a new character that he has previously played in other games, he's totally a force to be reckoned with. Canada's Ally won the tournament over EMG Black Twins. Black Twins managed to reset the bracket, but still lost 3-1. Black Twins playing Cloud in the previous iteration of Smash. That pretty much wraps it up for Frozen 2019. It was a pretty quiet weekend in Canada, despite having 173 entrants at that event. But we're going to move over and now talk about the final event. We had Heroes of Dutch Comic Con, a European tournament that boasted 155 entrants, and the neat thing about Smash is that it can be played at a con, it can be played at a ballroom, but for the most part, here's what happened. It was top, the thing about this event is that because of the variety, it was actually best of 3 throughout. Grand Finals was not best out of 5, meaning that if you won 2 games in a row or even 2 games after losing one, you advance in the tournament. Space won the tournament over Super Semi pretty convincingly, who we earlier sent to losers, and Gluttony was actually absent. Gluttony, the Wario who scored really well at Ultimate Summit, did not attend this event. Again, his presence was missed, but at the same time, what can you do if you can't attend all those events? But regardless, that was what happened this past weekend. We had many things occur, but for the most part, we've cataloged it for the PGR as C tiers, and this next weekend boasts a lot more talent on the way, especially the Summer Smash, which we're going to definitely look forward to as it heats up. So, without further ado, we're now going to bring this part of the show to the part where my co-host actually joins. We're going to celebrate a little bit here. We have a small celebration, actually, for another Panda who tied in with Mars' announcement, actually got revealed earlier last week. That Panda is going to be none other than Coney, now that he is unmuted and totally on the mic. What's going on, Coney? How's everything? And most of all, just like congrats on everything, man. I'm really happy that you're part of the team, you're a Panda. I mean, I think a lot of people saw it coming, but at the same time, who could really guess that one? Given that you've been on the show, I
think people
for 10
saw
episodes.
Mars coming. I think people saw Mars coming. I think I was a little bit more out of left field, but we've been talking for a while. Glad to finally have it out there. Happy to be on the team. Very excited to move forward with Panda in the future. Very excited to get my hoodie too. I'm gonna wear that joint everywhere. Those are comfy.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you've been on the show now. I want to say 5 episodes. You started midway. Totally. Yep. Deliberate, totally, something we definitely wanted to have happen. Yep. And now you're here. Has your life changed? Is anything different? You're famous now, even more so. Does that even change?
Yeah, I think that I'm wondering if wearing the Panda jacket will get some people to stop me, because I think more people know about Panda than even maybe Discord, honestly. Panda's pretty big in 1v. I mean, I'm saying, dude, I've worn the Discord jacket, but that's its own thing. If you wear the Panda jacket, that's a niche community. So it's not that more people know it, it's just people will probably approach you and talk to you if you're wearing the Panda stuff. So haven't been stopped on the street yet, but it's only been a couple days, so give it some time.
Well, yeah, congrats. I mean, as a caster, Panda, not even blowing sunshine up Panda's blank, but yeah, as a caster, do you think that that's something that maybe long-term, maybe short-term teams will start to look into? Because if you think about it, I don't remember who said it best. It might have been TK, but
I know the quote you're going to say. Yep.
I don't even know. I'm going to paraphrase, but casters can brand players, and casters are on the mic. So that's instant and total conversion almost from you're definitely going to get a player. You might get a player in top 8, but you're gonna have a caster for top 8. That's a guarantee. Is that what you were thinking about?
That's the quote that we always use. Is if you're going for players, you have a shot at getting into that top 8. If you go for a commentator, especially some of the top ones, you're in that top 8 no matter what, and you're in every set, very visible, all over the place. So, and I don't think we're at a position where I know some people have said that commentators, there might be a conflict of interest or something if you're commentating on your
everything's conflict of interest if we're honest.
Well, people will say that, but if Mars is getting blown up, Mars is getting blown up, and I'm not gonna shy away from it. So, I'm super excited. I'm really happy to be on the team. I think more teams should look at picking up commentators and casters, just because, again, the amount of visibility that you get, and then we're naturally sort of PR trained. Just because, you kind of have to be to do what we do. So I think it's a good investment for a lot of teams, and I hope to see, more of that happen.
Yeah, I think that with, the Nintendo online qualifiers, PR ready, like you said, is not a skill that you can just sign yourself up for. That's learned, it's tried, it's failed, honestly, and you learn from. So for players, it's funny because as players get signed, you can tell, and I brought up Samsora before on the show, E United took a very concerted effort to groom Sam for his image to be as impactful and as penetrative as possible, where at Genesis, as I'm sure you saw him, he had a 2-person camera crew following him, casually, he was sitting down, they were in the distance, they were getting candid shots. When he was signing things, they were getting those shots. So, you know, that on its own, like, Sam can't really do. Like, Sam, you know, smart, funny person, very charming, personable, but, like, content creation at that length, I mean, aside from his streaming, which they also definitely gave supports for, like,
yes.
the whole package of, like, getting a player to be... And DeBuzz noted it with his contract with Renegades, notably. Like, he had trouble with getting branding the way he not only wanted, but also consistent. And, like, Renegades gave him a jersey, but, like, there wasn't a plan, like a growth plan. So I think with, like, commentators is kind of all the work's been done already for someone who's, like, already at the top. And it seems like a nice fit. So congrats, man. Really happy. This entire cast is full Panda, with both players on the screen Panda, both people. This is like kind of like this is deep state almost.
It's assimilation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
this is
you're just absorbing everything.
This is my Panda water bottle, my Panda phone case, my Panda Cheerios, Pandios, like whatever, for the Panda Global Rankings, which will also be by us. Haha. Yep. But yeah, first topic, Mars getting signed. We talked about the man being 40 years old, trapped in a 20-year-old body.
Yes.
He's unstoppable. Kind of unstoppable right now. What was your first run-in with Mars?
Ever,
yeah.
Ever at VG at the boot camp that we did. So for anybody that doesn't know,
first time you met Mars?
First time him and I talked at that length, because like I've run into him, but like him and I had never really interacted. One misconception that a lot of people have is that we as commentators like talk with the players a lot. I think that used to be the case, but now, like, if you look at a lot of the top commentators, we are probably like we're a decade older than a lot of the top players right now, because it's like you got to think about it, because like D1, TK, myself, we're all 30.
Damn.
And if you look at a lot of the good players, it's like, you know, 20, 21, 22, 23. It's like in that age bracket. So we don't really hang out with them. We don't have a lot in common. Like they're not going to be somebody that we seek out. But at boot camp, I got the chance to hang out with Light and Mars, and I fell in love with them. Like, Mars is so funny, and he has this sense of humor that is like right up like our alley, so we love that guy. Super happy to see him succeed. I'm really happy to see him succeed past like the sponsor curse, because everybody says, you know, as soon as you get signed, you have all this new pressure because you're playing for more than just yourself. You're playing for a team, you have to represent them. So a lot of people don't really deal with the new pressure, but that he managed.
Yeah, what's crazy is that DeBuzz, Light, and Mars pretty much just told like a sponsor curse to like shove off.
That's true. Actually, yeah, that kind of dispelled that. Like
many people, they do hot, then they get sponsored, and they don't do hot for a long time. And not only that, but they do like badly, like 33rd, yes. 65th. It's crazy that, first off, what you said earlier, that you're a third of the century old.
It's crazy.
I know. I'm 4 years behind you, which again is also wild. But Mars, I met in Connecticut when I lived there for a little bit. I lived in New England. It was a really funny, awful time. Not because of the Smash scene, but just because life transitions. If you find yourself in Connecticut, the thing about Connecticut that I learned is that people grow up and leave Connecticut. Nobody grows up to go to Connecticut, is what I quickly found out. So it was.
You also have the worst drivers in the country. I drove up to Massachusetts on a booty call once, and Connecticut is the worst state I've ever drove in. So, yeah, just so you know. Just so you know.
That, yeah, I mean, I don't know. No booty call is worth getting rear-ended, bottom line. But with the whole, like, Connecticut living experience, like, I would go to locals, and the closest local was in... I cannot remember the name. It was Games Underground, run by Lance. He's still in the scene. I know that store. Yeah, yep. Games Underground in... Man, if someone can help me with what city that was in. It was like blank, Massachusetts. It was like 2 syllables. But anyways, Mars was there. And this was before I even started PGstats. I was like a true random. I'm still a true random. But I was like... It was like Mafia level 1 versus level 100. And
we're not a boss yet.
No, not even. And I remember I'd heard of Mars. And I had actually gone to Connecticut and swept their entire state because I was training in Florida back when I was active. Like, I used to play with Rio. You know, I used to be top 5 in Connecticut, like behind Captain Awesome and Ling Ling. Like, it was really funny times. And Light who I used to take tournament sets from. Like,
yeah.
I will pull it from Smash EG, but not really because that's like so grabby and stupid. But he would joke around with me because like he was really hot-headed. But Mars was like the mask god, and he was still super like quiet back then, reserved. He's not even shy. He's just reserved. He's serious, but also not. Yeah. Like he's serious, but like at the same time he has a huge wide sense of humor. But I finally met him at that store, and I remember it was him and Pug West back when they used to be a thing, like as teams, and pajamas. Like that was the thing. It was like pajamas all the time. And yeah, I just walked up to him. I was like, "Hey, we get some games in." We had like a couple local sets, and then once like PGstats started, and we started like running with each other more. Like I tried to like help him out. Like, hey, you know, if there's something we could do for like, you know, letting you know your rank early so you can propose to sponsors if they want to like offer you like stuff like that. So I'd always kept Mars close, and so it's crazy now that it's like come full circle that he's like on the team, honestly.
And he's always, I don't know, from my perspective, I always sort of got the sense that he was gonna go far. Like I got kind of a tweak vibe from him where it's just the way he plays, it looks like it has so many holes. Like you watch him and you're like, there's no way all of this could fit together and create a cohesive whole. But it does, and it's like a level of confidence in his play that is almost tangible. Like you can feel how confident.
He's cocky.
Yeah,
like he's cocky and rude. Like he plays like Mango in that sense, but it's more malicious. Like he pressures.
It's more of a dark energy. Yeah. It's like mean almost.
And then he'll like walk up and be like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" Like it's so funny. But yeah, like it's crazy that he was able to go far. And the biggest thing is like, remember when he was like with Denial? This is like boomer history, but like remember when he was with Denial? Like that whole fiasco, Denial withholding payments unless some crazy like they had to win tournaments to get paid, and if they won, they got a piece of their winnings. Some stuff. So Mars was trapped for a little bit, but he was traveling. And then he had no sponsor. And then he couldn't travel, like, at all. It wasn't until, I think he had a run at Big House 8. The last two Big Houses were just such a whimper to me. But I know Mars had a sick run right before Smash 4 basically was just kicking the bucket. And, yeah, he like, still had it, but he could never travel. So... for Mars now to be able to travel, oh my gosh. And for him to also... So ZSS-wise, right? Like, the meme that's starting up now and, like, sort of the contentious nature of it where, like, he has these results but Nairo doesn't necessarily, like...
I mean, I think that's just sort of armchair coach stuff. Like,
sure, it is.
Sees that. Because, like, Nairo likes Zero Suit for different reasons than Mars likes Zero Suit, and I'm not calling out Nairo with this, but a big reason for it is the boost kick killing at like 60, because Nairo is very good at riding the momentum and sort of and taking an inch and making it a mile, and Zero Suit was really accustomed to that playstyle. Mars, I don't think, has such volatile swings as Nairo, and I don't think he really, like, he could do it, he could make that happen, but he wasn't the guy coming back with a rage boost kick at like 170. He's very sort of like flow like water, Bruce Lee style. You know what I mean? He had a very different play style than Nairo, and I'm not surprised to see that ZSS sort of fits him more in this game.
Yeah, but then we have a community that we do, and so it's very much like running into like, oh, well, Nairo, you're not playing Zero Suit. It's like, hey guys, please stop tagging me. Please stop tagging me.
Please leave me alone.
Please leave me alone. Please clap. But yeah, like I think totally different play styles. How Mario might work for some people and not work for others. I mean, Wizzy just keeps playing him. Other people are like, all right, I'm good. But yeah, I think with him leading with ZSS, she's so flashy. Honestly, high key, the only exciting character I've seen. At least juggling like in the high tiers. Like throughout this game right now, I'm personally like putting like ZSS is like top 3 most exciting to watch. Snake is exciting to watch, but it's also hard when he like invalidates total characters.
Yeah.
I don't find Palutena exciting to watch. I don't find Lucina exciting to watch. It's a very different top tier landscape, and Wolf
Yeah.
even like Wolf isn't exciting to watch, but he's fun to play.
Yeah.
It's just because of how boxy he is. Like he can box out so well that it's like, all right, well, I guess I'm not playing. And
Well, he's so fundamentals based, and if you played Smash for 3 years, like if you have a solid base of fundamentals, you can play Wolf.
yeah, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, and it's not that like Wolf carries anyone necessarily. We're all carried by our characters, but I'm saying like you look at like the last previous games meta to right now, Zero Suit's like got that old flair.
Oh,
that,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
The speed, the maneuverability, like very much there. I mean, we don't see Sheik anymore, and she was that girl.
It's funny because when I made an initial tier list just to show off the tier list maker site that we had, and it was basically a Smash 4 tier list because in my head I was like, okay, you can't make Diddy bad.
Oops.
I literally didn't think you could because his hitbox, like just his moves themselves, just up air being what it is, his nair being what it is, his back air, his normals are good enough that they could not make him a bad character. And then Sakurai was like, oh, word, and he made him not a great character. I thought Bayonetta was the same thing. I was like, okay, well, she cannot be bad with her moveset.
Big yikes.
I did that a lot. I did that with a bunch of characters. And then I made the mistake of looking at recoveries. I was like, oh, Chrome's recovery, bottom 3.
Oh.
Wario was also in my bottom 3. So I was stupid.
Crom was in a similar spot as Cloud when he first came out. I remember specifically, aka Red Halberd, but what's his name now? Lade.
Pro Tips Lade?
Lade,
something like that.
Well, he's a super old NFL Florida community member.
Yes. Yeah.
But I remember being in those Facebook groups back then, and Cloud was automatically like, yeah, you just edgeguard him. Just edgeguard Cloud. And then we had
Mid-tier.
not understood what a tweak Cloud was yet. We had not understood what a MKLeo Cloud was yet, and it was just awful. But yeah, I mean, those characters, like, I don't know, like Inkling I also don't find as exciting. I don't know why.
I love watching Inkling.
Do you?
Yes, I do. And maybe just because I played a character. I really love watching Inkling, but I think Inkling is best played super lame. Like
so that's kind of the thing is like the win conditions are part of a not explosive, but a very dynamic character. Like the switching around, like the manipulation of the items and roller. Like, I mean, roller's not exciting unless it's like a last sock situation. But I feel
the problem is I think Cosmos playing Cosmos hates me because I keep telling him that Inkling is a high tier. Like, I don't think Inkling's a top tier. I think they're very good, but I think it's a high tier. But I don't think Cosmos plays Inkling in that way. Like, I think to play Inkling correctly, you have to maybe not go for the timeout, but it's got to be in the back of your mind because that character racks up damage. Like, it has to be played sort of like Brawl Sonic. Brawl Sonic was a monster who could rack up tons of damage and then not kill under any circumstances. And Inkling sort of feels the same. Better kill power, obviously, but that's sort of how it feels to me. Yeah,
and with, like, just how characters are killing now, it just makes it that much more like, all right, off stage, like, Inkling's very toxic. Like, towards certain characters, like, you're just going to get forward aired and die early. But those kills aren't so exciting to me from Inkling compared to Zero Suit, so... That's all that on that. Congrats to Mars, and we're practically talking about Full Bloom now, so we're going to transition there. Full Bloom 5, Midwestern Tournament, Bloomington, Indiana. If you hadn't caught why it's named Full Bloom, welcome. But yeah, what'd you think? I thought it was nice that Mars won. I also think it's nice that Pandas were all in top 4. They also were top 2 of doubles, I think.
Yeah, Cosmos and Mars won, and then ESAM and MVD got second.
Yeah, so... I mean, from what you saw, what'd you think? I mean, I thought the venue was pretty. I thought Beyond the Summit put on a nice production. I think they were 2 hours late. Don't quote me on that.
It was pretty late, but that happens. That's sort
tournament
of
life. That's tournament life.
That's expected. I was a little surprised by the viewership. It was lower than I thought, and I know a lot of people didn't even know what was going on. They thought it was sort of under advertised. Part of me wonders if it has to do with being on a Smash channel, because it was on BTS Smash, but it got, I don't know, I don't know how much it got in the finals, but I know I was watching Top 16. I didn't realize it was Top 16 because it had like 6 or 7K viewers. I was like, okay, well, you never know when you see that stuff. Is it indicative of, is that going to be an issue going forward, or is that just a one-time thing?
It's just lull before DLC, man. Like, the DLC cycle for this game is so... I mean, it's weird because I'm coming from, like, Apex right now, where even they're struggling to, like, get content out for people who are just hungry and, like...
Dude, they're going to fall behind.
I know, and this whole market that, like, Fortnite kind of created with, like, all these cosmetics, everything, like content, buy, season passes, battle passes, like... Fighting games are a little different. I think that Capcom has pretty much adopted most of that infrastructure within their games. DBZ Fighters with Bandai Namco has also followed through, like, season passes. Like, it's a lot slower because fighters are, takes tougher to develop. Yeah, like, there's a lot of testing, everything. But with Smash, it's not even in the same sentence. Like, it's not even in the same race. Like, you're gonna get Joker and a potential alternate, which there was, like, teased about potential female pro tag Joker. A stage that's probably going to be banned. And soundtracks, which, hype. But, like, also, when I meet the sound and I play it through my capture card and put on my own soundtrack, like, it's just kind of like, like, it'll be great. Yeah. The season pass is probably worth its weight in gold. 5 characters. The hype that comes from that. If we get something zany, like something out of left field, like a rated M character, like something from Mortal Kombat, that'd be crazy because it's just coming out. Something from, like, truly unexpected, whatever. Fire Emblem's gonna come in. It's just, like, not fast. And so I think the lull right now is kind of also that. Like, if you're not competing in Smash right now, and also the rankings are now, like, if you're not competing in Smash right now and you just put it down, you can let 3 weeks go by, and that would have been Full Bloom, Collision, and Glitch, So...
Well, there's so many good games out right now, and, I mean...
Yeah, there really are.
Fortnite's eating a lot of people's lunch, and any game that isn't that agile is going to sort of get swallowed up, and I think Apex is at risk of that right now, too.
Yeah.
And I do think that Smashers or that people are going to come back to Smash when the new character comes out. I don't think it'll be as high, but I think it'll be, worth looking at.
Master Chief, actually, that would probably ruin the internet. Master Chief Goku would ruin the internet.
Well, Chief is a possibility now that Microsoft is like... The fact that Microsoft gave Switch Cuphead... Because, like, Cuphead was their baby. It was like, okay, we're going to fund your entire operation.
I'd be down for Cuphead. Cuphead being in Smash would be zany. And a Cuphead stage...
There's no way. There's no way. I would love it. There's absolutely zero chance.
Shovel Knight is in line. Shantae's in line in terms of indie titles. But Cuphead was so successful. I mean, I think the case for Cuphead is personally there.
No way.
I think it would be wild. Would you be are you a Cuphead main day one? Like, even on
yeah. No question. It was my favorite game of 2017. I followed the game for like 4 years while it was being made. That like, I love the game. There is absolutely zero chance. Maybe an assist trophy, maybe something like that. But like,
an assist trophy would be so cute. It'd come out and like.
You would have to do that because like then you can actually you don't have to animate a whole move set. You're like, all right, I'm gonna animate this one move and this one jump. And then it's like, thank God I don't have to create an entire moveset handmade. That would be a nightmare.
Bro, Cuphead. That would be insanity. Like, Cuphead in Smash, like...
I'd like to see it.
I don't know. I think it could happen. I honestly think it could.
Well, we got very far away from Full Bloom. Full Bloom was
great.
Cosmos got second. Meister had a hell of a run. Game & Watch Snake looks unwinnable. Like, under no circumstances. That's it.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare.
No, it's definitely true.
Good stuff to Panda for having 3 players go that far. I think it was sort of a don't park on the grass situation where, it's sort of a super regional. Not that that's a bad thing, and that's not to take anything away from those guys, but it's a Midwest event, mosly inhabited by Midwest players because MVD and ESAM are in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
which it's kind of far, but still.
It was
Cosmos in the Midwest. Yeah,
it was a C tier under these standards. It'll likely be a C tier under new standards, like Mars top 15, Cosmos top 15, ESAM MVD top 15.
ESAM top 15, and yeah.
So
I
those
think so.
four, right? That doesn't make an A tier, or even a B tier. So it's like that's like having Elegant, Void, and Larry and Charlie back in the day in a SoCal monthly. Like it's
Sure.
kind of the same thing. Which you
Yeah.
know, not to take anyone's credit, like it's kind of weird. Like the killers right now. Like I'll tell you what, the pound per clout in upsetting a player now goes so much shorter than it used to. Like,
Oh yeah. Well, that's early. I mean, early game that's gonna happen. I think.
yeah,
I think where it is right now in Ultimate, there are so many matchups that, like, MVD didn't know Game and Watch existed. You know, like you're gonna see a lot of that. You're gonna see like, oh, that's a character now.
but like
I mean, with
I
70
just
something
mean
characters.
I just mean like beating someone and it turning into like a career defining moment is just really not the thing right now. I think that'll once the rankings come out, it's like I beat a top 10 player. Like,
Oh, I see what you're saying. I
like
thought you were saying like that was happening more, and that's gonna boost people's rankings.
No. I mean,
Sort of,
like,
okay.
Latai was likely the last person
I hear
to
you.
cash in on an upset of that. Like, I mean, it was a zero upset, and it was
Sure.
a Civil War. And it was probably one of the best pop-ups and everything after that. It was just like the
That's a good call
what?
too.
Like,
That's a good call.
yeah, like that was all iconic. So that helped, but I think even then he gained at the tail end. I think that was like the hypest moment for like Smash storylines or whatever in that year,
Sure.
mind you. And I think he gained maybe 2,000 followers, maybe two, or maybe it was under one. Zachary was the last person, but that was because he made like the waves. But I just mean like someone beating Esam right now, or someone beating someone like Cosmos won't be that career defining.
Not yet. Give
It's
it
just
time.
weird. I hope so. I hope it changes. It just seems like right now it's like people are kind of shrugging them off, and the way the Twitter climate is right now, like it's just not what it used to be. I feel.
I think it'll happen in time. I think a lot of people realize that it's early in the game, and like I said, with sort of the point that I was alluding to is with so many characters in the game, you're going to see players drop sets to characters they haven't seen and don't know. It's going to be sort of a feather in the cap for players that make that happen. But I think people are generally skeptical, at least for this first season. Second season, once we have some rankings identified, because like if somebody beats Tweak or Leo, that's a big deal. The only reason that we don't really care if they beat Cosmos or Esam is because we don't really know where they stand yet. They're consistent, but to a point. Like
sure.
Esam will still regularly get ninth. Cosmos will get ninth, but then he'll get top 8 at Genesis. Like it's you don't know yet, and the only two dogs that are super far ahead of the pack, in my estimation so far, are Leo and Tweak. Though Nairo
For sure.
has sort of been, I think Nairo's sort of coming. He's getting close to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, maybe it'll happen later. I mean, right now I think too the way the meta is kind of steady. I haven't seen so many surprises. I don't think I've even seen like this is like a meme for sure, but like I haven't even seen like Ice Climbers on stream. I haven't seen a lot of characters on stream.
I haven't seen Diddy literally once.
Yeah, like that's
It's crazy.
Like if we think of where Smash ended and where it began, and then what we got after, like Game and Watch from Meister, even seeing things like Meta Knight from Leo, to that extent, to that extent.
Right.
I wonder what those will be for us, because we're just playing with the familiar right now and the accessible, so it's like Wolf, Inkling.
But Palutena.
Yeah, Palutena. So I wonder what's gonna happen, plus DLC, plus everything else. I like the other meme that like the best Joker main is not gonna even have ever played Persona or some shit.
Oh god,
like,
yeah, no question.
That'll be great, but for the most part right now, it's kind of calm. So I think that covers it for Full Bloom. Anything else you wanted to add before we head into open mic?
Not really. It was a fun event. Really good to watch. Like you were saying, runs behind, but a lot of events do. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know BTS is working hard, but I mean, it's hard when you're doing 2 games, and it happens.
That's the other thing. Yeah.
It's hard to also plan for top 8s on a dime. Although some people won't let them sleep 2 hours is unforgivable. But it's like man, run an event. But Yeah, so here we go. Tonight's open mic brought to you by not Progressive. I don't know why I said that, but we have cancel culture, a phenomena that has swept the Twitter nation as a whole. It has canceled many a foe, and both wrongly and justly. It's been pretty much like what happens in Smash Twitter. I want to say every fortnight.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know what you thought about how pervasive it is or isn't in your opinion, and also like on what grounds it's appropriate, but also like what it's causing. Because I feel right now that like a lot of people are ready to pounce on other people and won't admit it until there's like the first sign of trouble, which is kind of like, I thought we were bros, or like I thought we were friends, you know?
Sure, yeah.
But then it also makes things kind of bad because, and specifically like top players emerging now, or top personalities like now getting closer and closer to like Nintendo, or closer and closer in general to like the mainstream media. Like at any moment now,
Sure,
it's like,
yeah.
hey, I found your GeoCities website. Here it is. And it's like walrus porn or something.
It's I don't know. It's a delicate thing because I think tensions can be high at any given point in terms of like what's happening on Twitter. I do think that people are very quick to jump on whatever the trend is, if they're gonna hate on somebody, or if
you're speaking like you have a gun pointed at you right now, Coney.
I know, but because the reason that I'm saying it is because I agree that we have a problem with how we address things, and that like an allegation will come out and then everybody will jump on that person and there's no evidence. But at the same time, I think in most circumstances where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think people want to act like anybody that's making this stuff up is doing so for clout or attention or something. And one of the things that I've noticed is that people, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I don't think people do that for clout. I don't think somebody's going to come at somebody so they get Twitter likes. Maybe.
Yeah, no.
I might be outside of that sphere. I don't know. But that might be a thing. But I think that people are very much sort of unfocused on what is really the focus there. Because even like in the faux situation, which was as far as I know,
God, yeah,
was proven false, that wasn't like for likes. We're not trying to expose faux so we can get on some moral high ground. She just wanted to mess with him because he wasn't into her. As far as I know, that's the story that I know. Jesus, I have to keep
that, and that's even now, like, you know, societally. And I even saw Fallen post on one of his very iconic walks through the SoCal desert, where people are like, "Well, it's a societal problem. So what can you do?" And it's like, you can't turn a blind eye to what's happening in front of us just because it happens in society. But at the same time, what happens in society too, when like people have situations that are then proved false actually, and then that damages everybody involved, or there are people that were exonerated after being in jail for 20 years for a murder they didn't commit, like all that sort of stuff, you know, like when things fail as a system. Because then also, you know, people are like, well, involve the police or don't, and then leave this to professionals and all this other stuff. And then like even the mafia situation, like what was happening in New England, and then people are like banned, and then like the Yuga situation, like people are like, well, they should be able to play, and you know, we can't worry about this other stuff. And it's like people are going to care first about their ability to play over most other social hang-ups that like you should have with them. And then how do you deal with that? So I think right now, first and foremost, in a Twitter thread, the response or retort with the most likes wins, regardless. I don't make the rules. If you call me a banana and that gets 4,000 likes, I'm a banana. Like that's just how it works. Like I've seen threads derail because someone comes in, or on a more rare instance, a Tafo clapback, like during the Salem trials.
Yeah.
Wow, like wow. If you
because Tafo doesn't speak like that.
I know.
Everybody. Yeah.
I know, but for the other instances, like where people get into these situations, first of all, online. So first of all, devoid of tone. Second of all, on Twitter, could not be a worse medium to have a multi-layered, multi-perspective situation laid out for anybody to comment. Because that's the thing. It's like if you're in a Facebook group where most of these things start, it's like private to private. Like people are in the group, they're speaking. I had this issue with this player. I had an issue with this person I'm dating. Blah, 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 blah. It's like a closed room. But Twitter is like trying to get through a deposition at Times Square, and anybody could step up, not only in the crowd mic, but also like the main, like, you know, the stand. Like anyone can take the stand, because like anyone can. Like anyone comments, anyone memes, anyone throws in their 2 cents. Someone just takes it and attacks them, then you're DMing, then you're quote tweeting. So overall, like, it's a messy situation for anybody to get engaged in. But like the main thing right now that I want to press on, like tonight's open mic, is as people now near Nintendo, because like, yes, the Nintendo Online Open, it's gonna be at PAX, which is cool. Still criticisms from their rule sets, whatever. We've been over that. It's a net positive. If you haven't understood that yet, you're looking at it the wrong way. But with that nearing by, there are skeletons in the closet for some people, or there's things that are unresolved for some people, or there's things we've handled as a community that didn't get handled properly, and it's just going to come up later. And right now with the internet, like, you and I, like, this generation didn't get to experience a time in the internet where their actions were more or less inconsequential. And you know what I mean? Where like, we're just stupid on MySpace, like stupid, right? And the things you say back then can't really come back to haunt you now, but it's more so because like the stakes are different too. Like the societal context is different, but it's also because we're not big deals back then. We're not 16, like winning events, or 15, you know? And that's where right now, like, there's a lot of kids that definitely, like, under 18, literally, like, figuring out this on Twitter as it's happening, as they're growing up, as they're going to school, as they have 20,000 followers, right? Like, that's insane to me. And that sort of pressure, the pressures that, like, you know, even extending to someone like Lima for, like, the Evo hate, and Zach for, like, the dance hate, like, I don't know where I would have been at 17 or 16 with that amount of Twitter yelling, or just internet yelling at me, you know? That's where I stand.
I think that Twitter is really bad for this stuff because there are millions of people with millions of realities and millions of experiences.
Literally, yeah.
And it's impossible, like, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna say, somebody's gonna say, okay, well, women aren't all that welcomed in the scene. Somebody in Florida is like, hey, we've got a lot of women in our scene. I've never seen an issue. Then a woman from Florida is like, yeah, I go to these locals. I have no problem. Somebody from Kentucky that has an awful time is like, actually, this scene is awful because I have these 3 guys DMing me all the time. All these people are right. So, like...
Oh, it's like the worst game of Mafia, honestly.
It's impossible. It's impossible because all of them have real experiences, and from their perspective, there's no way to sort of to reconcile all of this.
It's true.
Twitter's impossible. It's the same thing. So Omni made a tweet recently, which was sort of poorly.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly
enhancing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the ill-advised. Let's say that.
Was that recent?
Basically, yeah. So he basically said, mental. It was about mental illness, and he said that mental illness for a lot of people is not maybe not a crutch, but it's something you can fall back on, and it's an excuse for not being more motivated or something like that. And like
not get over it, but kind of echo the sentiment.
Exactly.
Echo the sentiment. I remember.
And he said, like, you know, if you actually have this problem, or if you're diagnosed, that's one thing, but if you self-diagnose, that's another. Blah blah blah. And I get what you're going for, because a lot of people do live that life of making excuses for themselves and not going anywhere. Blah blah blah. But also, there are people who actually have that, and both those people exist, and both those people are on Twitter. And also the guy that says that all of mental illness is a crock and that we should all be smoking hemp and that'll fix all of our problems and eating berries. It's like there are way too many realities that these people think. There's like no truth anymore, and that's kind of the issue with this whole thing, is that there's no way to reconcile all these different people, and so it's always just going to be a contest of, well, who can there's a word for it. It's not performative.
One
it's
up,
something.
grandstand, like
No, it's like it's a philosoph. It's like named after a philosopher, but it's basically just whoever can grandstand the most. There's a word that's like an adjective to describe it. It's not Socratic.
Chat help. Give me
Aristotic. I don't know.
AP
It's
site.
something like that. But there's some vocabulary word that's perfect for that. But it's just whoever can make the most appealing version of the truth to the mass people, even if it's not real, if it resonates with the most people as real, they win. And I think that's the problem with all this.
Yeah, that is definitely a really crazy way to look at everything that's happening from a social psychology perspective, which I don't even know if you meant to go that way.
No, I did, because
But that's what it is. That's what it is. You can't you have to apply those like sort of critical theories to it, and this might be like above and beyond, or maybe not. I'm gonna be low. I'm gonna meet people where they are. Like when someone takes their personal anecdote before looking at a situation and shoves it to the forefront, you are not validating someone else's experiences. So like, yes, the community at large has situations in which there are contentious issues with women, and as a whole I think we can agree with like gaming in general, with like the industry, with like the design, with the employment, with the everything, like it is not like super welcome to women in general. Like it was exploitative at first. I mean, look at like how Sub-Zero was dressed versus Katana in like the early games, like how Tomb Raider was made, like all these different, like this was definitely made for a guy, right? Like in general. And it's changed, the narrative's changed, and there's strides, and there's this other stuff, but for the most part, like, wow, so there's a situation I want to bring up, like I think this community can work. Well, my baby sister won a tournament and she had a party thrown for her, so there's no issues actually against what you're saying. And it's like, well, hype for your baby sister, man, but there's this issue that I'm facing, and so nope, it's over. So yeah, with Omni's tweet, our generation uses mental illness as a crutch to justify being tired, sad, and or lazy. Most people who claim to suffer from a mental illness don't, and it's an insult to the people who have been clinically diagnosed. So the second part, like an insult to the people who have been clinically diagnosed, similarly to like what we're talking about, like for the people who actually got it bad, your situations of faking it make it not okay. But then everything else that was kind of surrounding this kind of derailed. But bottom line, like within cancel culture itself, which right now probably every notable personality or figure has some sort of something that someone wants to like drop on them, whether it's true or not, and that is toxic to the conversation, where we want to be mature, we want to start working with like partners, not even Nintendo so much, but like other sponsors or orgs, and it's like if something happens and someone says something, it's going to be brought up in a way that just isn't productive, and that...
Yeah, but I'm also I agree with all that, but then some people methinks thou doth protest too much, and like I feel like some people see all this stuff happen, like, oh man, cancel culture, we got to get rid of this man, and I know some of the stuff they've done, and I'm like, you're doing this to cover your base in case stuff gets out. And it's petty stuff. It's not stuff, you know what I mean?
It's not illegal.
And I think people I think people will I think people can sort of socially engineer that and sort of say, man, we got to get rid of this cancel stuff. Everybody's got this stuff going on, and we've got to get rid of this, and we don't want this to be so toxic. But really what they're doing is covering their ass for when they get taken down, so they could be like, I told y'all they were going to get me for this thing I did that's awful. Like, it's like if R. Kelly was like, oh man, we got to stop telling people all these stories about... I told you they were going to lie about me chaining up women in the basement. I told you they would say that. Well, yeah, because you did it. Like, I think there's a fine balance between this, and again, it comes back to what is the truth here. It's a case-by-case basis. In the public court of opinion, it's impossible to have this rational... I don't know.
The public court of opinion, nice ring to it, but there's also the COC, the COC, which stands for the Conduct SSB Conduct Panel.
Oh yeah.
Official account for SSB Code of Conduct Panel, COC.
Didn't they do one thing?
They handle the mafia situation to the dismay of some people, as far as I heard. The cock panel.
Stop saying that.
Worst acronym.
You're doing that on purpose. Stop it.
The cock panel.
No more of that.
Had a good, or has a good mission behind it. I mean, they want to provide this resource, but again, like, it's a resource, so it's not an answer. And like many resources, it can be misused, and it's also to the quality and standards of whoever made it. So there are, from what I remember, there was a band of people that were part of it. I think it's been condoned slash what's the other word? Oh my gosh, not patronized. Why am I thinking of that? Endorsed. Yeah, endorsed.
That one works.
Yeah, endorsed. Endorsed by many people. I've seen at least half of. It says when they had the mafia case, which, long story short, I don't even have a long story short, but there was a case that happened that the community was one way about, and then they decided the other way. And 23 TOs appealed, so they have like a system in place where they can even get overturned. Long story short, this is one potential resource. I don't know what your thoughts are, but it's a start. You know, like, people are at least able to file reports. And I'll say right now, the bottom line, the bottom line is playing, commentating, TOing for the community are all privileges. Playing, being at the forefront, and you are not owed that as a right, and you are not to be doing that if it makes anyone in the scene feel unsafe. Bottom line, that's it. Like, if you do, like, that's what we take issue with first, not how sick your Dr. Mario is. Like, in any case, in any game, which is at odd ends with a lot of what the community would believe in many cases, just like we all have the same feelings when it comes to separating art from the artist. Like XXXTentacion, like, murdered, and then he had all this stuff happen beforehand, and then the murder kind of like made his music like immortalized, and oh my gosh, he's so sad, he's so torn soul. Also, he beat his pregnant girlfriend and kidnapped her. Like, what do we have? Like, what are we doing? And
there's the Michael Jackson stuff.
That's the biggest quagmire, dude. Radio stations play what is being now, you know, very much unearthed as like what it is. Like, it's crazy. And with players and a scene and a grassroots feel, I feel like that's even harder to do, because it's hurting everybody. It's not just like the estate of the Jacksons or you know, whatever label X was on.
Well, again, getting into just this sort of shared realities thing, a lot of the Smash community sort of trends younger. So you've got, you know,
yeah, that's
18 to 24-year-olds at the highest.
16 even.
Yeah, some 16-year-olds, they don't have the life experience to know what really happens in the world or what's really going on, if that makes sense.
That's true.
They don't have the perspective. They have not been there. And so when they see it, they're like, well, you know, he said some mean things before, but he's really good at the game, and I'm sure he doesn't mean it, and he can change and stuff. Like, they don't have the life experience to know if somebody, oh, that guy's really a problem. Like, they just want to see good gameplay because it doesn't affect them. And a lot of them, I mean, honestly, a lot of them don't even go to tournaments. I've seen a lot of people who do not attend events. They just watch it, have very strong opinions about who should and shouldn't be going to events, who is and isn't innocent based on allegations. People that have never met any of these players or people, just have seen them from their computer screen, are positive that somebody is guilty or innocent, that they've never met and never spoken to, just based on public image, which is insane. But they get as much of a voice as people who have been going to events for 5 to 10 years. So I think that the panel is an important thing, but the problem that I see in a lot of Smash panels is everybody wants to be a part of it, and they go really hard on the first
run.
The first run, they try really hard. They come
First
up with
sign
a
of
rule
trouble,
set.
though. First sign of trouble.
Well, not even that. It's like, I remember back when Smash 4 was happening, we had a committee, and it was like, all right, we got to come up with stage list. Stage list done? Okay. Everybody's done. Then maybe 3 people contributed. And because everybody wants to be on that first part, right? Everybody wants the cool badge. Back in Brawl, it was the purple name because there was a Brawl back room.
Oh,
if you were in it, you got a purple name. So everybody wanted to be in the back room, but nobody ever talked to the back room because all they wanted was the purple name. If the panel will make an earnest attempt at sort of dealing with these situations, that's great. The only one that I heard about was the Mafia one. I don't know what has or hasn't been going on since. Yeah. So I don't want to be cynical, but that's the same sense that I get where everybody wants to be a part of it because everybody wants to help, everybody wants to be progressive, everybody wants to be thought of as that guy, but what's being done now? And what can be done? Because apparently there's something going on in Canada the same weekend as something else that they explicitly set up an event for people that have sort of been ostracized for the stuff that they've done up there. And I don't know all the stories, but like...
What are you talking about?
You haven't heard about this? Okay, so there's an event in Canada coming up soon. I don't know if it's GOML. I don't know if it's...
Can't be GOML.
Something.
GOML, the international event? Like, GOML,
yeah,
GOML?
But it might be... I'm not... There's a big event in Canada happening. And then the same weekend, there's an event that's like, here's a real event for the real one. For guys that aren't allowed to go to the other.
Battle BC?
Battle BC? Okay, so that's it.
Potentially, potentially.
They have that, potentially, maybe. They have that, but then they also have this event that's like, here's an event for the real one, so we can get together. And some people are going to go to that because they think, okay, well, you know, this person was banned unjustly. So it's like, there's no, it's so messy, dude. It's so messy.
Yeah, and I've even heard firsthand, I mean, there's TOs that have had to make hard calls, and man, I don't want to blow anyone up, but I've had TOs tell me that they ban a person because something had come out. And these are local scenes, not even like of the big regions, not even talking about Tri-State or SoCal, but they've banned someone who maybe is like an ex-boyfriend to someone, or even ex-girlfriend, like even like not
it's
like
definitely abuse of power.
Gender, not even related. I'm just saying, like, the TO had to ban the girlfriend or boyfriend of someone, or somebody who was just like a threat, right? They'd come, they'd even just ragers too.
Yes.
When a TO makes a decision to now prevent someone from playing, there have been many cases, both big and small, where like the scene is like, all right, we're not going to come to your local anymore. Yeah. And they'd start a new one.
Whether it's justified or not. Like,
yeah, and they start a new one, and then everybody hurts because now, you know, whatever day of the week you pick on it, now you're going to split everybody. And then apart from that, then people are picking sides, whether they want to or not. So the ramifications run deep, and it's so sad in the cases that it's local, because these don't even make Twitter front page. These are like, I've had people that have told me, you know, back when, like, I've been really I mean, I still do. I talk to TOs a lot about tournaments, like PGR this, PGR that. And for the local guys, like, you know, they've told me about, you know, their time in the scene, and some of it has been cut short because of something that got out of hand, and whether they made the right call or not. Even in the cases where they did make the right call, people were still like, but that's my guy, or that's my girl. And that's just on the local level. So bringing it up now, I think open mic ends there, unless you want to say a final thing. Are you good?
No, I think it's...
I want people to have it on their mind, on their radar, because I think as, like, this really ramps up, like, the scene really ramps up, like, pay attention to who is saying what and when and why. Like, when it's someone who has never met any of the parties, like, with a crusade almost, like, there's some sort of motive. When it's the people involved, like, I mean, pay attention. Believe, you know, victims, believe everybody, but at the same time, like, maintain, like, your own personal narrative where, like, you're realizing who the actors are. So keep it on your radar.
There's an old saying which is believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. And I think for Smash it's the opposite, because if unless you're going to the events, if you're just watching, believe none of what you see, because like you don't know anything that's going on. You might be able to believe half of what you hear though, because stories get around. And not just one thing that's happened. Obviously, there are a lot of cases where just somebody had a bad day and they get a bad rep, whatever. But people talk, and Smash is a very insulated community. And again, I don't want to say that there is always merit to everything, and like you said, believe victims, believe everybody, whatever. There are cases where that stuff can go south, but again, people don't usually just make this stuff up. And again, where there's smoke, there can be fire, so just try to be open-minded, I guess is what I'm saying, on both sides. And that sounds like such a cop-out because it is impossible to be right 100% of the time either way. So this stuff is exhausting. Whatever. That's all I had to say on it.
It's important to talk about, but I got a bonus point for you because I really like what you just said. But if you can source where this is from, I will just laugh. But I'm not gonna tell you if you can't find out. You're gonna have to Google it later. But this warning posted at the top of website reads: the stories and information posted here are artistic works of fiction and falsehood. Only a fool would take anything posted here as fact. And the fact that you know where that's from,
that I know where that's from, but I'm gonna pretend like I don't. So
boomer humor. Moving on. So Q&A brought to us by our first gentle person here, gentle man. Q&A we opened up recently. It's a chance for people to literally Q and we will A. The first question we have comes to us from, let's see, there were a couple here we wanted to hit up. The first we got is by Hippos Are Rad, which I really like that handle. Hippos Are Rad asks, my question isn't about drama. Thank you, actually. We just had our fill. Actually, not drama, controversy. I would like to ask which region is the strongest right now. Where would you rank New England with 2 of the potential top 10 players right now? Which I think they're referring to Light and Mars. Interesting.
Yeah. Tri-State's number 1, no question.
Tri-State with Nairo. Tri-State with who else?
Nairo, DeBuzz.
Oh, you got DeBuzz. I forgot.
Yeah, Nairo, DeBuzz, Wishes. You have sleepers like Juice. You have Frozen, who just had a crazy run. I could name names forever. I mean, I think Tri-State is definitely the strongest region. Period.
Second best.
Second best? I think New England has a chance for it. But the problem is that, so you've got Mars and you have Light, and you have people like Light who's good.
No, Florida, man. Florida. Like, Mewtwo King. Well, Mewtwo King when he wants to. But Salem when he wants to. Why am I forgetting everyone that lives in Florida? Florida definitely has a case, I feel. I'm really
not saying
strong.
New England is number 2. I think New England is like, you have Light and Mars, and then you have Lade, who's pretty good, but then you have a lot of like, Raffi might show up, Craftus might show up. Like, there's a lot of maybes.
They're 13th.
They have a strong mid-level scene.
Definitely.
And high mid-level. I don't want to say,
They're not chums. But they're not chums. Yeah, Florida, 8-Bit Man, Sam, Sora, Mutace, MK Leo. They all live in Florida now. Myron. Yeah, it's being named in the chat. And Midwest, actually, too, with Yeti and everyone else is going crazy over there. It's just crazy, like, how the new scenes are, and notably absent from, like, anyone's top 3. For sure, SoCal.
Yeah, SoCal sucks. I don't know what's going on over there. Larry is sort of starting to find his footing.
Void's a god.
Void is amazing, obviously. Elegant actually won a tournament recently, and he's sticking with Luigi, so bless him for that.
Ugh.
I mean, I think SoCal...
Can't knock.
SoCal got rocked the hardest by the switches in characters, because Larry hasn't figured out the new Fox just yet. Well, not that he hasn't figured it out, but like he's
Larry attended Frostbite incognito.
Yeah, I didn't even see him.
We need to. I love Larry. I saw him at Summit, and I was like, Larry, and he's just like, I know. But you know, they have legacy and so much attached to them, and they're late bloomers, right? We'll go with that. They're late bloomers.
Larry will be fine. He's super
he'll
smart.
Be fine.
And,
like he'll be.
He's
fine.
He's not somebody that's gonna freak out about, like, you see a lot of people like, I don't know if this Smash is for me. I just can't find the right character. He's not that guy.
He's not that guy. He's quiet.
Come back up.
He's quiet. He's professional about his craft.
There's a lot of people in SoCal.
Cosmos, Esam, Midwest, of course.
Yeah.
Tweak. Oh God. Tweak as well. So,
yeah, but keep in mind though, he's really tri-state. I know he's Midwest.
What's the zip code?
But okay, I'm just saying.
Is he from Chile or is he from America? I mean, it's an NA crew battle at the end of the day.
Right now, he's not in the conversation, so I don't know.
He is Midwest though. Oh no, he's not Midwest. I think Zero. Actually, I don't know where Zero. Yeah, he's in Florida right now, or is. I don't know. There's always like.
As far as I know.
Yeah, I don't know what's public or not, but yeah, that is true. He's not part of the conversation. Armada.
I think Tri-State's #1. I don't think we have a definitive whatever else. I think Midwest and Florida are both very strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Texas,
Japan. Would you put Japan in between Tri-State and Midwest, Tri-State and Florida? Like Japan's second?
No, Japan's lower.
Fourth.
I
cannot. So. No, Japan has to be
top
3. So I'm thinking about Zachary, which is biasing, and then I repeatedly was saying like, this is Japan's game when they're heading into Genesis and Frostbite.
A lot of people said that, yeah.
And it was not. Sad to see. Kind of bummed.
But they won the crew battle.
Okay, so where's that in the ledger?
I'm just saying. They won the crew battle. Leia is amazing. Leia, I think, is like the scariest dude to come out of Japan. Like, Greninja's just a nightmare. Japan might be in the top 3. I don't know. It's I don't think it's worth discussing because Tri-State wins now anyway, at least in my estimation. But I think that I think the battle for #2 right now is pretty neck and neck. So
fair.
That's all I'll say.
Well, I think it'll be fun when the first PGR comes out because it'll be bragging rights.
Right. Yeah.
It'll be the.
I will say I'm glad that MDVA is not a meme read. We're okay.
You guys
We're
are.
Okay.
You guys are not. You're like you're the mid horse. You know, you're a horse in the middle, right?
We're okay. Yeah, that's fine.
You're doing the thing. You're showing up. You're coming to work. All right. It's a region that puts both, one pant leg at a time. That's how you do it in MDVA.
We're very blue collar. We're not gonna win any. Not gonna win any. In the stars, but we're gonna come in, do our job, and we're gonna put in our 8 hours.
Call it a day. Go home.
Yep.
Go home. Go home.
MDVA is not awful. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, they kind of, I think, poor Smash 4. MDVA really, you guys, the thing too about it, in Smash 4, as you guys got memed into oblivion, you took it on the chin. You took it on the chin.
Yeah.
And you never sobbed, you never cried through, you didn't even meme yourselves. The only thing that's come out of MDVA that's been annoying in the recent past is Tidor, which I still don't get.
Which is obnoxious.
That's the only thing, and if that's like your greatest offense, you're doing great, babe.
Tidor, the way I
we do not need to talk about Tidor. This is not.
No, you know those kids that would like sit at the lunch table and yell penis loudly, like to get everybody to look at them, like, oh, I said it again. That's Tidor. That's the group they're like the kids at the back of the cafeteria at the table, just a group of stoners, just yelling penis as loud as they can. Like that's Tidor. That's how I feel.
The penis game on packed subway is still top 5 funniest things to do.
That's okay.
That's what it is.
I've never seen it on a subway, but
it gets out of hand. But
gotcha.
Thank you, hippos are rad. That was a fun Q&A. I got a couple here. From someone sliding in my DMs. From Ang Time, followed by a lot of kanji I can't read, and Japanese I just can't read at all. So he gave us a lot of questions here, which is nice, but we picked one. Talking about, I know you guys are supportive of Nintendo's online Smash Open Tournament series. What's your opinion if / should more top players in the grassroots competitive scene playing in that series? Fixing for grammar, I believe that he's asking if top players should be a part of the whole Nintendo Open experience, both online or not. I mean, being a part of it, do you think that we should have that? I mean, that's pretty no-brainer, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they want to. You don't want to tell players shouldn't do anything they don't want to do.
True.
Bottom line. Like I'm a strong proponent in sort of laissez-faire on this kind of stuff. Like Nintendo puts out a rule set. It has items. If you don't like it, don't play. And Nintendo will either say, okay, well, this item rule set isn't great, or they're gonna say we don't want to run any of these events because we're not supported. Either way, you can't know what they're thinking, and you can't pretend to know. So if you want to play that event, go for it. I don't think anybody should feel obligated to do it if they don't want to. So like grassroots people, I think it would be great if people did. Like I think it would be a real shot in the arm if like Nairo was like, hey, I'm gonna stream me competing in this online event. I think that would do great for Nairo. If I'm being honest, I think that could really help him out. Maybe not Nairo, but a lot of streamers could get a lot out of that.
I think they should just lean in more, you know, like tweet it, like it, post it. I mean, it's hard because I feel like Nintendo's press cycle and marketing cycle on this sort of stuff is out of sync with everything else. Their first literal qualifier for the entire thing was Genesis Weekend.
Sure, yeah. Well, they definitely have always sort of operated, and they kind of
independent, which is fine. We're not the rhythm, they're not the rhythm, they're just a different rhythm.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think players should do it. I wish that they would be more active in sort of supporting it, but that's the same. That's not because it's Nintendo. That's just because like ESPN makes an article about Leo and nobody cares. Like I feel the same way.
Oh god, the
Nintendo,
worst pictures. The pictures are old. They need updating.
I feel like people should be more sort of signal boosting that out regardless. But in terms of should players do it, I don't think players should feel obligated to do. You know, if you don't want to play the tournament without items, don't play the tournament without items. It's fine.
Yeah, I agree. And you disappeared. There you go. Yeah, I think that's all fair, and you know, that's the answer. And personally, I think they could have been a part of it a little bit more. I think John Numbers, as a notable B-lister, got far.
There's a couple.
Yeah,
there's a couple. So
people sniped. They definitely like sniped, you know.
Yeah. So you've got
and John Numbers is no stranger to Nintendo events. I mean, he is,
yeah.
He's a world champ.
This weekend at PAX, you're gonna see John Numbers, Seth, who had a pretty good run at Full Bloom actually.
Yoshi.
I think he got into top 8. Yeah, Yoshi. Seth. I don't know if Terror Bear won. I can't remember, but Terror Bear, a very old school player.
God!
Yeah, Terror Bear. He either won or got second. I think he won.
Terror Bear trivia was 50th on the first PGR ever as Falcon.
Yeah. So Terror Bear, and then I could swear there's more people. DT Foe is a Xanadu Incineroar that goes to our local, and he made it, so he's going to PAX.
What? What?
I know, right?
Oh my god! I feel like I should have at least tried. Dang.
Dude, it's not easy.
Okay.
Wrath was another one. Yep.
Wrath, I remember Wrath. Yeah, I know.
But it's not easy to win these events because you got to win 8 matches in a row to get to the finals.
That's hilarious.
No, you have to win 8 matches in a row. Then you have to win 2 more sets.
Wait, so is there any like dark horse, like who the hell is this kid, like Pokemon trainer from Hawaii or something, like?
Sort of. I think Sweet Tea won too, and he's SoCal Pokemon
but he's
trainer
known.
player.
But yeah, everyone is competitive, is what I mean, right?
Oh yeah. Nobody. There's a Wario player named Devontae who I think is from Georgia. That I'm gonna have my eye on because I really like Wario.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Ridley that got in. I forget his name. It started with an M. Mystic, I think was his name. I think he got in. Arrow, who was a young Link.
Is it a 16 top 16 bracket?
No, so it's a weird system. So there are 3 players from each region. So it's Northeast, Northwest, Southeast, Southwest, and it's a squad strike bracket where the 3 players that made it from each region are going to play each other. I don't know exactly how it's going to shake out, but that's how it's going to start. So it's going to be some kind of format like that because it's Nintendo, baby. We got to have some fun.
Yeah, PAX. That'll be a nice. That'll be a nice experience. I enjoyed the last PAX I went to. It's crazy.
It's my first PAX, so I'm really excited.
Really?
Yep, first one ever.
It's gonna be a lot and nothing at once. You'll see really quickly.
All right.
It's like all these exhibitions. You got Blizzard occupying like a quarter mile, and then you got Sony, and then Nintendo's got their rows, and then like a sea of indie games. It's pretty cool, but there's so much that you
Yeah.
can't possibly experience it all. So have fun. You'll have fun. If you're at PAX, say hi to Coney. You're gonna be rocking Panda the whole time?
If I get my stuff in, I haven't gotten any. I haven't got my stuff yet. So.
Wow. Well, Alan, wag of the finger, no tip of the hat.
I'll tell him to jump on that. Yeah.
But yeah, that covers Q&A this week. Please DM me your saucy questions. Both of these were not saucy, but they were very, very nice questions to open up our Q&A moment. So, Coney, we can catch him at PAX East 2019 this weekend. Who are you going to be joined by? Is TK everybody that basically did it, or?
I don't know exactly who's going to be on it, but yeah, PAX East this weekend. I don't know the exact. I don't know the times or anything like that, but check out PAX East. It's gonna be fun.
Cool. So yeah, Coney, we can find him at the same handle. He did not tattoo his girlfriend's name on his arm. His handle is not changed. It is still
not yet.
Coney's Easy. So yeah, he streams. He does the thing. Coney, sign off in however way you wish, and we'll close the night.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We do this, try to do it every Monday. Today is Tuesday, obviously, we know.
No, they don't have to know that, technically.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Okay, well, we'll do it a lot. Do it on a weekly basis. I'm streaming Sekiro right now, and I'm about to beat it. I should beat it. Well, I was going to say Thursday, but I got to fly out. Is it worth? It's amazing. It's incredible.
You're the one person I've seen say that so far. I think
Wait,
you like...
really?
I think, yeah, you know what? It's boomer. It's boomer humor.
Dude, I love Souls games, and this game is.
You're a hardened one. You're a hardened soul. That's
I love
pretty
this
much.
game.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Cool. Well, yeah, check that out. You can find him on Twitch, twitch.tv/Coney, ZZ, and then yeah, that'll be all. Anything else, Coney?
Nope. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you at PAX this weekend, and I'll see you at Pound. I think is my next event, so should be fun.
Awesome. All right, so Coney is now gone. Thank you, Coney. He is the hostess with the mostest, as we said before, but not a hostess since Coney's a man. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and close out. It's been a really, really fun episode. I think that as we gear up with You're Not There, this is sorry. As we gear up to make sure that all our technical difficulties are seen through, make sure you hit that like button on YouTube. That subscribe button lets you know when the episodes are live. We're going to try to rip the audio from this and just make a podcast. The people have been asking for that. As everything stabilizes into the summer of Smash, we're going to hit with a lot of stories that are going to come out from Smash Twitter, Smash Reddit, Smash everything. So make sure you tune into that. It's been a pleasure again. It's been Suar. PGstats, SmashCenter, you've got your fill. You've got your fill in. And we'll catch you next Monday, 7 p.m. sharp on twitch.tv/Panda Global. And if not there, then Tuesday, 7 p.m. sharp. We try to be regular. We try to be routine. Thank you so much for joining. And we'll see you on the next show. And we love you a lot. So thanks for your support. See ya.